After this happens.
Ooh, okay, I'm out.
Oh. Hi, everybody. I'm Wave 3 News Chief Meteorologist Kevin Harned. We are watching the radar, the remnants of what was Tropical Storm Cindy now moving through the area. We do have the tornado warning as well as a severe thunderstorm warning over the same area of Taylor County. This does include the Campbellsville area. Strongest part of that storm just passing by Campbellsville as we speak. Current temperature Louisville 79. Some very warm, obviously a very juicy atmosphere. We have some wind shear that's creating the little spin ups. Now, anything that would happen in an atmosphere or an environment like this would be very weak. Nonetheless, could do some damage. And there you see that storm pushing across Taylor County. Again, on a wider view, let me show you as we take a look at the entire viewing area, because that is the only storm we're watching. Let's go to Max 1, and I'll point out that with the severe thunderstorm and tornado watches off to our north and east, we're right on the edge of seeing any kind of inclement weather. I'm going to stop the radar view exactly where we are now, just so you can kind of get a better perspective of what's happening. That is the only warning we have. The latest update on the severe thunderstorm warning coming out. Rain in Louisville. Much of the area will stay, well, severe free. We're going to have the rain, and flooding is the greatest potential for areas to our south who've already picked up 1-2 inches of rain. We may add another inch or two of rain, but at this point the greatest threat happens to be from the severe thunderstorm and tornado warning storm that we have off to our south. I'm going to zoom in, and then we're going to take a look inside that storm with the velocity. You see the strongest part bowing out just a bit. We have some strong rotation with that, with the wind shear, and the velocity inside that storm moving right along Highway 68. If you're familiar with that, comes right down out of Lebanon, goes into Campbellsville. That's the area that we're watching. There you see the rotation moving right past the Campbellsville area. If you're familiar with that region, Campbellsville University down there, Campbellsville pushing on over toward Mansville. This area is moving off to the north and east at about 30 to 40 miles per hour. So the tornado warning stays in effect for another 10 minutes. Pretty strong rotation showing up just north of the Campbellsville area. This type of scenario with this tropical system could produce these brief spin-ups fairly fast. And they pop up, they touch down on occasion, and they can do some damage, but they're almost always typically on the smaller side. So that's at least, if there's any good news out of having the tornado warning, that's it. But you can see the core of that circulation pushing past the Campbellsville area. That's going to be rolling right along US 68 over the next 5 to 10 minutes. Again, that tornado warning remains in place. Hail is not a threat for today. Flooding rain certainly a possibility as we move on into the rest of the evening. Again, the tornado warning is for Taylor County until 3:45 this evening. So we still have a little bit more time left on that. That is the only severe thunderstorm that we have across the area. It's the only tornado warning that we have. I'm going to go back to our home view and just point out that we do have a number of areas picking up rain. The tornado watch includes some of those areas in the extreme southeast part of our viewing area, while the severe thunderstorm watch is out of our area, includes extreme northern Kentucky, southern Ohio. We have rain stretching across much of our viewing area, the back edge of this pushing through. Let me put this into motion so you can see that the rain is not going to last, well, a whole lot longer for some. The core of the circulation moving near the Bowling Green area will eventually push up across Kentucky into central Kentucky, and that's going to pull the back edge of this rain with it, along with the cold front moving in, and you do see some lightning with that. I'll point out again, the only severe weather that we have ongoing is that thunderstorm down across Taylor County, and that indeed is a tornado-producing thunderstorm, at least indicated by radar. There are no sightings of that at this point. We have our newsroom on the phone with a number of personnel down to our south. Let me just, I'm going to zoom in to the storm as well one more time. And as we go in closer to check that velocity, you noticed a while ago as we zoomed in that red and green. Red's away from the radar, green wind toward the radar. This gives us an indication of where we have the strongest rotation. And you can see, I'm going to zoom in just a little more, center it up close to me. And now let's go back inside that storm with the velocity. And while additional severe weather opportunities exist in central Kentucky today, much of the Wave 3 News viewing area with the exception of these areas to our southeast, we'll stick with just rain and maybe a few thunderstorms. We have some low-level wind shear that's creating the opportunity for some of these brief spin-ups. We typically see that with tropical systems as they push past. And I know a lot of people are thinking, gosh, I saw that video out of Alabama and homes were destroyed and businesses were destroyed. These storms can produce some damage, but they're typically not all that large as far as circulation is concerned. That's the circulation that you see moving across parts of now into northern Taylor County, off to the north of Taylorsville, Highway 68, pushing down out of the Lebanon area. So that's the region we're watching with the possibility of the tornado. If it were to be touching down, it would be in that area right there as we see that junction coming out of Marion County into Taylor County, eventually pushing on over toward the Bradfordsville area. So if you are watching from southern Marion County and especially southeast Marion County, northeast Taylor County, you need to be in your tornado safe spot. That's the lowest level. It's away from windows. That's the area we're watching that has most concern. Those reds and greens tightly bound together, showing the possibility for at least some rotation on the radar. The tornado warning continues for at least the next 5 minutes or so down in Taylor County. So that warning goes until 3:45 Eastern Daylight Time. Let's put the radar into motion. You can see that this is fairly fast moving, pushing through the area. Radar view, and there you see it. Over the last 3 hours, it's just pushed in, kind of expanded, and there you see the tornado warning right on the edge of that tornado watch that had just been issued. Let me stop the camera. We've got a 3-hour loop on there, so that's why you're not seeing anything in the first few frames. It's out of the frame. But the current image is the most important, and that's simply because that's where we still see the potential for that rotation to push across Taylor County, now lifting up into southern parts of Marion County. Get your bearings together. Here's Lebanon at the top of the screen. There's New Market. There's Bradfordville. Notice on the last scan, we're seeing a little bit less rotation showing up. Less bright reds, still have the greens. We have some gusty wind, no doubt, and that core of that rotation pushing through. So that is the area still of concern. We still have some broad rotation showing up within that part of the storm, and that's why the tornado warning continues. As far as will that tornado warning extend into Marion County at this point, I don't think so, simply because the rotation is diminishing. We do have the severe thunderstorm warning that will take over once the tornado warning expires, and you can see that that's going to push right very close eventually toward Bradfordsville as it moves over the county line, which is just about to do at this point. So this tornado warned storm, showing signs of rotation all the way back before Campbellsville, continues to roll off to the north and east with the remnants of what was Tropical Storm Cindy across our viewing area. Again, not expecting much in the way of additional severe weather here in our viewing area. However, looking back to the east, to central Kentucky, you will stand this chance. So if you have friends or family from Danville over into parts of Lawrenceburg, Lexington, those places stand a better chance to see some of the powerful thunderstorms. Still showing that rotation. The tornado warning continues for a few more minutes out of Taylor County. Marion County, while this storm is crossing the county border, technically you're not under the tornado warning, but you are under a severe thunderstorm warning. However, with the rotation still there, I would plead that you still treat it like a tornado warning. Get in your tornado safe place. This storm is still showing some rotation. I've not had a chance to hear from our newsroom as to if any damage has been reported out of the storm. Did it actually touch down? We're making some of those phone calls to law enforcement down that way now. But at this point, it's just radar indicated, and that's what we have going on as this storm moves off to the north and east. Again, the tornado warning continues for a couple more minutes. Taylor County, this is the county line as that storm moves over into the southern part of Marion County. It'll be pretty much due south of Lebanon, moving toward the Bradfordsville area as a severe thunderstorm with rotation. Can't rule out the fact that that tornado warning would not get extended, but at this point that's not been the case. Still seeing some of that rotation with that one cell as it pushes across northern parts of Taylor County, and that's going to be north of the Mansville area, so it stays north of there. Bradfordville is right in target to see this storm within the next 20 minutes or so. So you should should put your plan into action, not only for a tornado plan, but severe thunderstorm as this storm continues to lift off to the north and east at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. Once again, I'm just going to zoom out on the camera view here so you can see what we're watching across our entire viewing area. We're in the southernmost part when you get down into Taylor and Adair counties. Here in Louisville, we have light to moderate rain falling, lighter rain in Indiana. Notice the severe thunderstorm warning now coming out. So this is the warning that is no longer a tornado warning, but a severe thunderstorm warning for areas to our south. So this is what we were waiting on, with the National Weather Service issuing the extension of the warning, saying that it will no longer be a tornado warning, but instead a severe thunderstorm warning with the possibility of a tornado. We'll keep an eye on that rotation. I'm going to zoom in just a little more. And then as this tornado warning fades away within the next minute or so, we'll get you back to regular programming, promising to keep a close eye on the radar. There goes the tornado warning, now expired, and the severe thunderstorm warning has replaced that across southern parts of Marion County. Still watching some broad rotation on the radar, now crossing the county line. Taylor County, you're in the clear. Marion County, you still have the severe thunderstorm warning in progress, with some rotation just showing up on the radar in the extreme southern part of Marion County. Bradfordsville, keep an eye on the radar, keep an eye on Wave 3 News. We will be here to keep you informed. One more time back to a wide view, and we'll get you back to programming. We'll be watching it. Should we see any more development or tightening in that rotation, we will jump back on the air. You can see as we put the radar into motion, we're not finished with the rain at this point. We're going to continue with at least seeing showers and thunderstorms even here in Louisville over the next few hours, gradually ending our rain chance as we slide on into at 10, 11 o'clock time frame tonight. We have the cold front to our north. Remnants of the tropical storm pushing through. It's all going to get squeezed out and pushed over into central and eastern Kentucky over the next several hours. The main concentration of rotation would be closer to that area of low pressure, now spinning down near Bowling Green. Follow my hand. We take that closer to the Lexington area just south of there over the next few hours. So places to our south and east have the greatest potential to see some of that stronger thunderstorm or rotation, which we've seen down in parts of Taylor County. I'm Kevin Harned. For now, we'll keep an eye on the radar. We'll be back as necessary. We'll see you soon with more weather updates, if not before 5 o'clock with Wave 3 News.